computer.
How do you pause it?
Where you go?
There you go.
How do you pause it? You don't have to. Okay, 6:30, I called the meeting to order of the East Windsor Building Commission. Located at the John Daly Meeting Room, Town Hall, and live on Zoom. Attendance, we have a big full commission. Oh, Wayne's, listen. Under new business, accept community center bid for recommendation of the architect and forward to the Board of Selectmen for USDA approval. We have Joe Sauerhofer to present.
Hello all, first off, Steve apologizes. Steve came down with COVID, was hospitalized, our architect. He can barely talk still, he's having problems with his throat. It's been over a week, he's still testing positive and not feeling very well. But
We told
We
him
did-
to stay home.
we told him to stay away. I said stay away. Keep it in Enfield. But for his recommendation, he's thoroughly vetted. BRD Builders, which is our low bidder, which like saves us a lot of, trying to disqualify them. They've gotten excellent reviews from everybody down to the current job they're working on right now. The people, the Glastonbury School is so happy with them, they don't want him to leave. He's scheduled to finish that job right around in April. But I'll tell you this, I've needed some information for the USDA for them. He is like, I've hung up the phone and gotten the information I needed. I mean, and that's kind of rare with a contractor, lately. That to get, I mean, literally everything I needed, I had, and then as a matter of fact, I got a piece and thought I didn't get it and emailed him today, and he told me he emailed it to me on Friday. So that being said, I mean, I feel very confident about, this contractor, and they're the low bidder.
And just for the record, how much under price were they?
Roughly about $1 million less. $1 million less than what we budgeted for.
But there were changes in that as well.
There's going to be changes. Obviously, if you're not aware of, we eliminated the basement because of the water conditions. We did some boring and decided at the last minute before the bids were due to eliminate the basement. So we're gonna have some storage issues and stuff, but it's gone. In the bid, there are some items in there that say provided by others, which we are the others, the furniture, the fixtures, nothing's been purchased yet. We're just waiting through these hoops. The process is you all to recommend to the Board of Selectmen, the Board of Selectmen to approve it pending the USD. The USDA is the one that's going to ultimately say, yes, we can go with them. We're currently, Steve's working on a letter, and we're currently working on all of the documentation that the USDA wants. They want their vendor list. They want jobs they're working on now, past jobs, so everything we've done, we have to send off to the USDA, and then ultimately they'll, with the award letter, the award notice, they call it award notice, we call it a letter. They will take the award letter and grant, ultimately the first selectman to sign it, and then we'll award it. Then the process will be, then we'll have a contract signing, get all the nitty gritty out of the way, and then we'll request a schedule. We're gonna go with an AIA document, so everything will be itemized, and then, for pay schedules and all that, and then, the weather holds out, he may say he wants to put the foundation in, that's totally up to them. I mean, bottom line is we're leaps and bounds ahead of where we were.
Okay, that being said, I'm gonna hand off to any other commission members have any questions, and after we're done, we'll go to the audience. Heather?
I think, my only question was, what's the time frame do we anticipate from when Stephen gets all the information to USDA, when USDA issues the letter?
USDA said we're pretty quick.
Mhm.
So that's the best they told us. They didn't come out and say, we'll turn it over in a couple days. I think number one, we're going with the low bidder. I think that would probably muddy up the waters with them. We've vetted, we've looked at everything, we'll be able to answer every question they've asked us USDA so far. So I'm anticipating the process should be less than a week. You know, so
Have any other questions?
Anybody else?
The $1 million, was that the $1 million difference, was that based on what the architect originally estimated the job? to
yes,
be?
yes, so that's, there's contingency built into that number. There's, you know, like I told you, FF&E, there's IT built into that number. There's, you know, there's layers of stuff, but ultimately, we won't have to come out of pocket for anything and still be able to stay under budget.
Yeah.
You know, which is great.
They look
They have,
like-
the, you know, everything we've ever done in town, we've always been at that exact dollar amount. And then the minute something squeaks or, you know, we go over that threshold and, you know, we're in trouble.
Yeah.
This gives us, you know, breathing room, I guess you could say, you know.
They seem like they've done a lot of schoolwork. I
Mhm.
was on their website, and they're getting good reviews doing schoolwork.
Yeah.
You know, they gotta be doing something.
Yeah.
A little, right?
A lot of remodeling, they remodel all waste office building, they do a lot of like Park Hill, a lot of that stuff, I think that's where they first started. And they're local, they're right in the east or Hartford. You know, so.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see their vendor list also to see who's on it, but
Yeah.
as soon as I get it, you know, yeah.
That'd be great. That's all I got.
Anybody else?
Any concerns over the difference between their price, your bid, and second, third, and fourth, and just between them and second place is a pretty substantial amount, 260,000. The reason I asked is because I see second, third, and fourth are very close numbers. And when I see a big difference like that, it just makes me ask myself, is there something that they don't have that's these others had in their bid? Is there something missed? Are we confident in that number?
Our initial look through the whole thing, including the basement. We were mid-4s, you know,
Right.
and these were just, you know, just estimates, the
Mhm.
architect. Just like, okay, well, we've done this. Warehouse Point, the fire department, you know, it's a $5 million job,
Right.
you know, or not 5 million, $500,000 job. You know, so with his experience and everything, we were close. I brought the same, you know, thing to him, wow, they're cheap, you know, I mean, it looks cheap.
Mhm.
But when you back out the retainage that we figured in, which is in our, you know, within the estimate, you know, we're at. I think we're at 15% retainage, or not retainage, boss, what am I looking for? We're contingency. You know, and. You know, originally it was an estimate. Once the engineer, that we sent it out for a professional estimate,
Mhm.
you know, I mean, he came in and, you know, the baseline was about 4.1, and then you know, with the FF&E and with the IT stuff and the fob system like this building has with the security, that stuff creeped it up.
Mhm.
And then you had the contingency in, and we were at the 472, I think.
Right.
So,
Okay.
and I'll tell you. The reviews are, I mean, they're great, and you know, and I didn't talk to. I talked to the facilities people, I didn't talk to the guys that are on the receiving end of the work, the guys who are gonna have to fix stuff they skip.
Yeah.
And you know, they say they're there when they're there, they do the job, if there's something not right, they fix it right away, you know, they're just right on top of it, it's.
I'm familiar with pretty much everybody on here, and I've
Hmm.
nothing negative for the most part of all the top ones.
That's a which estimated they used.
And anybody else, have any questions on the commission?
Well, I don't think we should be really pushing that off of darn hard anyway. Nothing worse than pouring concrete in the winter.
No, we're gonna let them get the schedule. I mean, you know, we're,
You can have a better job when it isn't freezing.
Right.
We have price guarantees as far as their quotes.
oh, once we sign the contract, that's it.
Lock-
Yeah, it's locked in, yeah.
All right.
And then there'll be. Once we come up with the construction schedule and, you know. He says he's gonna be done. If he's not done, there will be, you know, penalties to him.
Right.
So, you know, this isn't gonna be like, I figure it's about an 8-month project. So. You know, I mean, we'll see what he says. We'll talk to him and then we'll set all those fees and everything.
Is there any liquid damages or is it more just?
It will be if he doesn't complete
by?
by,
I
you
don't know
know,
if they're gonna be written into the contract.
yeah,
Once it's in the contract, if he forgot
Yeah, yeah,
something,
yeah.
then there's.
that's on him.
It's gonna have
That's
to be-
exactly right.
So, you know, like you say,
He got the spec book, 600-page spec book.
Yep.
He read everything that was in there.
I was printed that by accident.
Oh, yeah,
there it is.
I mean, there were a lot of contractors at the walkthrough, we had, there was a lot of
There
people.
were a lot, I was very surprised.
It's a good sized job,
Yeah,
perfect sized job for a lot of.
Mid-size.
Right now, a lot of jobs have gotten pushed off and schedules are just kind of wonky right now in industry, so.
and at the walkthrough, we told him we had the money, it was in place,
yeah.
but it's not to exceed. And
Mhm.
that's, I think, why we got good prices too.
Joe, I have one last question, I'm sorry. If there's some issue that goes on, not on the contractor, but say something, architect, something's forgotten, there's some, for some reason, a change order. How does USDA give us the money for the change order? Is there additional, like, do we only get the amount of the contract less? How does,
From what I understand, the USDA wants to, we have to spend our money before we take their
Okay.
money. So then, once we're, you know, as we go, we're done, you know,
Okay.
so. I will ask that question that Wednesday, where,
just because I'm not familiar with how USDA works in
Yeah.
that kind of situation. There's some weird thing that happens.
yeah, you know, I'll tell you, if it's anything like the state, we're working on, you know, we got. $500,000 for the playground and we got $300,000 for the lights. And. They just said, send us the bills until you hit 800,000 and then we're not gonna give you any more money. But we won't pay for X, Y, and Z, which is fine,
Right.
but so, I don't think the process is gonna be that easy with them. Hold it all.
Change order, we didn't miss anything.
Right. Yeah,
You never know, when you open up a wall. you
Yeah,
never know
it's,
sometimes.
it's a
I'm,
20-plus-year-old building, there's
Yeah.
gonna be change orders.
yeah, I'm gonna tell you this, right off the bat, I can think of one change order that's gonna happen is the data drops. Now, we run Cat5 cabling and we use our telephones as our switches, so. The phones get the Cat5 cable plugged right into them, so they're directly to the internet, and then from there we go to our computers. Well, as the phones get older. They slow everything down, so. Every which there's not a lot of people in this, but every data drop will have two. So whatever the cable's gonna cost, you know, so that would be the one thing that. I could think of off the top of my head, you know. It, you know, we did get, we're not putting the basement in, so, you know, we're not putting staircases in. You know, we're moving the fire suppression valve system up, so, you know. That's probably one of the reasons why the cost went down too. Because fire suppression system now didn't have to go through the basement, didn't have to, you know, cover the basement, there's less fixtures, there's. Less concrete, I mean, we were looking at putting sump pumps in, probably dual sump pumps. Just
Is the cabling something we can get ahead of
as far as,
costs?
it'll be one thing I'll bring up to them at the pre-construction meeting to say that, you know, this, I'm looking for this, so.
Okay.
If, you know, if there's gonna be a change order, what's it gonna be, and, yeah, we'll watch them like, you know. Realistically, it should be just the cabling, they're gonna be there.
Right.
You know, so it shouldn't be, and that'll be to me, that will be the first test to the contractor to see where he stands and how he's going to treat us. So,
They're not using like Cat6, I know a lot of schools do that.
we use all Cat5 here, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much difference,
No.
it's just tighter bundling, tighter. Well, look, they're
More
paying,
cost, probably.
yeah, it's more costly. Anything else, Commissioner, any more questions before I open up to the floor? Is there anybody who would like to speak? Just start, state your name and address for the record, please.
Yeah, Keith Gagaloff, 125 people. So I had similar concerns, or not concerns, but questions that you had where you have some contractors that are really well known and established, and they're kind of clustered within the area, and then this one is a little bit of an outlier. But you have to go on the most bid as long as they're vetted out, and I think that's the thing that's gonna happen. Since you're here, I just want to say I had a little concern about the change where they eliminated the basement because they said water table is 3 to 4 feet below grade. And so if the water table is 3 to 4 feet below grade, that puts it right in the frost line. And I don't know how you construct the foundation in the water table. However, maybe you should make sure that you have an engineer that is watching this foundation work that's being built in the water table to know that it's being done properly, because water tables fluctuate too, and you don't want to have frost. Particularly, what I read was when you have a high water table, that's where the foundation is, then you can get like real frost heaves because of the fact that you got large amounts of water right within that area that's going to be freezing. So so maybe you want to think about having a specialist engineer, or making sure the architect has the engineering in place. They've already reviewed this, because this was a last minute issue, right? That wasn't apparently incorporated in the architect's original planning. So anyway, my suggestion is to capture this through an engineer to make sure that it's being properly. You want to put this money into foundation work and find out that it's gonna be a problem.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Okay. That being said, I guess I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation from the architect, Steve Jagger.
Yeah.
For the East Windsor Community Center alterations and additions project to be contracted with BRD Builders, and forwarded the recommendation to the Board of Selectmen and the United States Department of Agriculture.
Motion made by Heather, is there a second?
Yep.
Second by Hook.
We both did. Either we'll pick one.
Yeah. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Okay,
Nothing else.
that's it. Financials, there's none. Topics from the floor. I think that's from anybody have anything they wanna?
We haven't done it.
I don't think so. And public participation. Does anybody from the public want to speak about anything or anything anyhow? Okay. So we want to make a motion for adjournment?
Motion adjourned.
Others make a motion for adjournment, right? A second?
I'll take it.
Second? All the, any discussion, none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh,
I don't think you can.
No, I don't want to.